One of the biggest things that successful content creators, YouTubers, and influencers do is work with brands through brand sponsorships, or what's also known as brand deals. But as a smaller creator, it can feel really defeating because a lot of the times when you look through your email, you get a ton of people asking just to send you free stuff and there's no form of payment. Or if they are gonna pay you, it's very little. But as a small creator myself, I have landed 4-figure brand deals, and it's because I've learned how to position myself for the brand and what to ask the brand. This way, when I ask for more money, they see the value that I'm providing and they're more willing to pay me for it. So today I'm spilling all of my secrets on what I do before, during, and after negotiating with brands. This way, maintain a long-term partnership with these brands so I can land more brand deals throughout the year and make more money in my influencer business. Okay, so first thing you want to do is make sure that you are reaching out to brands just as much as they are reaching out to you. And I know this can be very confusing at first because it's like, where do you even look to find brand deals? Which is why I'm so excited to partner with Justin over at Creator Wizard, who is sponsoring today's video. Justin has an entire email newsletter that sends you paid brand deal opportunities to your email inbox every single week. So as a content creator, all you gotta do is wait for that email to come in, browse what's available, and apply to the ones that you're interested in. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description box below. This way you can sign up and get more brand deal opportunities straight to your inbox. Now, of course, getting these paid brand deal opportunities sent to my inbox is just the first step. And the next step is I actually have to pitch to these brands. Now, before I was a YouTuber, I actually worked in HR and I did a lot of hiring. So I totally understand that this is actually a very similar process as if you were going to apply to a job. And most of the times the people that I hired are the ones who told me why they would be a good fit for me instead of just preaching about themselves and everything that they've done. And as an influencer, you want to do the exact same thing. Now, of course, when I am pitching to brands, I still do get brands in my inbox that are pitching to me at the same time. And I treat them the same way. But something that I do is when I pitch to brands, I've already done the research. But if a brand is pitching to me, I make sure that I research the brand to ensure that my target audience is also their target market. And it seems like it's going to be a good fit. If their brand doesn't align with my morals and everything else, I'm not going to work with the brand no matter how much they pay me. You are representing and putting your stamp of approval on these brands. So it's really important that you research these brands to make sure you actually like them and you genuinely believe in everything they're involved in. Another reason you want to research these brands before you say yes or before you pitch to them is because you want to have an idea of how you're going to integrate this brand collaboration into your content strategy to make it make sense. The worst thing you can do is have a post or a video and it feels like a brand sponsorship. Your brand deals and your regular content should not feel any different. So if I cannot easily integrate the brand into my content strategy or it just feels disingenuous to me, I'm not going to do the brand deal. So one of the questions you should ask in the negotiation process is, what are your goals? And you'll be surprised that some brands are just looking to increase clicks to their website. Other brand campaigns are meant to be used for their stuff. They want to use your content into their ads. And this is really important because sometimes as influencers, we worry about our aesthetics more than we worry about the brand's aesthetics. And the problem with that is if the brand is looking to fit it into a particular campaign, either in an ad or during a holiday shoot or whatever, and you are just worried about your content strategy, they're not going to be able to use your product. And yes, they may pay you for whatever you've created, but they're probably not going to come back to you. Okay, so all of that is the prep work to even pitch to the brands, have that concept and have the brand say, yes, I'm interested in working with you. But of course, we also want to get paid. So you have to get comfortable pitching your prices. So this is where you want to put your media kit together, which I showed in this video right here. Not every brand is going to work with you. And sometimes I ask them, is there anything in particular that would increase my chances next time? Or what were you looking for? And sometimes they're looking for a specific follower count. And it's not that I don't make content good enough. It's just my follower count isn't what they're looking for. Now, going back to pitching your prices, you want to make sure that you're kind of pitching high. I know the first time I raised my rates and what I pitched to brands, I was like, oh, they're never going to pay me. But when you pitch your prices, just be prepared they're going to negotiate down. So if your base rate, you're like, okay, I will do nothing less than $100. Don't pitch $100, pitch $300 because they're going to try to negotiate down. And if you start at $100, you're gonna end up with free product or $10 and it's not gonna be worth it. But once you get everything going, make sure you use a contract to solidify everything. If the brand does not have you sign a contract, you should have your own contract. But once you have the go ahead, everyone's on the same page, your contract is signed, you want to move on to actually completing your project. And for me, there's a couple of things that you want to do. Number one is do not rush. You do not want to try to fit a brand sponsorship into a day where you have doctor's appointments and you have to run all these errands. You want a full or half day to be able to work on this. Plan for at least 4 hours to complete a project. Okay, so when you're shooting, if it's a video, if it's an Instagram photo, if it's a reel, whatever it is, you wanna pay attention to the little details. So again, in the research process, I always go through the brands like Instagram or the brand's social media accounts to kind of see what their aesthetics are. Again, I want to match their aesthetics more than I want to match mine because it's more likely they're going to buy the content off of me. But also too, you want to pay attention to little details such as what campaigns they're running. Is it a holiday campaign? Is there a certain theme? Is there a certain color that they always use? Because you want to match that. Also, when doing this, you can definitely shoot with your cell phone, but if you're able to shoot with an actual camera that does high definition, maybe a DSLR, maybe even just your vlogging camera, something that's going to give you a higher quality photo, that's going to be way better because again, when the brand buys stuff off of you, they want high quality because it gets repurposed in so many different ways. You also want to make sure that you're not using any of your own branding. A lot of times too, if you're using filters, they do not want that because they have their own theme. So again, just save something that does not have a filter and just let them know like, hey, here's the pictures. I don't have a filter, but just make sure it's okay that you actually filter and you put it onto your page too. So open communication throughout the entire process is so important. You want to let them know how the progress is going. You want to let them know, hey, is it okay if I do A, B, and C? Because if you do it and they don't like it, then you can't get paid for it. So always communicate with them throughout your brand sponsorship as well. This is where the after comes in. What do you do after everything is done? Do you just post and ghost? Or do you want to keep a long-term relationship with this brand? And honestly, there's no wrong answer. There's brands that I thought I loved and I wanted to work with, and I went through the campaign and maybe the communication during the process was just a headache and it wasn't worth the money, and I'm like, never working with this brand again, right? So you can definitely say that. You can just be like, okay, here you go, thank you, and then like not talk to them again. But there's also like partnerships that I absolutely love. I love their products. I believe in the company. It was like smooth throughout the entire process. So I definitely want to keep those going. This is where you really want the after to come into effect. So of course you want to deliver all of your content if you're going to work with them in the future or not. But if I do want to work with them in the future, a couple of weeks after I am done, I will actually reach back out to them with a performance report. And a lot of brands do not get this from people. So you already have just blown their minds with your amazing content. And now you are being super professional and you're sending them reports, which brands love data. So having that follow-up conversation with them will help you in the long run because you're going to land more brand deals with the same brands that you love, which means your audience is going to know like, okay, this isn't just, she talks about it once, like she's in a long-term partnership with this brand, and the more they see you talk about it and use the products or services, the more they're probably going to purchase, which means more money for you because the brand wants to continue that partnership. All right, so if this is too long and you didn't watch the whole thing, here's a little recap for you. Make sure you are pitching to brands just as much as the brands are pitching to you. Again, thank you to our sponsor, Justin, over at Creator Wizard. I'll have all the information down in the description box below so you can sign up for his email newsletter and get paid brand deal opportunities straight to your inbox every single week. This way you can pitch to those brands and actually start the negotiation process and get more brand sponsorships. Once you pitch to the brand says, okay, let's move forward. Make sure you research the brand so you have a concept idea in your mind, and also ask them what their goals are. Are they looking to increase their sales, increase their traffic, or they want to use your product in their marketing in the future? Throughout the process, you want to make sure you're still talking to them. Take high resolution photos avoid putting your branding or watermarks on the photos or videos, and also make sure you have clean versions. So if you do have a filter or preset or whatever, make sure you have a version that does not have it, so you can give them the clean version so they can edit however they'd like. Also, make sure it's a part of your contract that they have usage rights and they're paying you for it. If it's not and they ask for it, you need to charge them for that, because you are the copyright owner, and just because they paid you to create the content doesn't mean that they have rights to use the content unless it's in your contract. And then if you do want to work with a brand in the future after the brand deal is over, make sure obviously you deliver everything on time, and then you also send a follow-up email about 2 weeks, maybe 30 days later. Again, you just want to be as professional as possible, and remember, they use you for marketing and they can get an entire production team, but you're easier to work with. So just be professional, know they like data, and tell them why it's going to be a good fit and how you can benefit them versus the other way around. But if you guys have any questions about landing brand deals, working with brands, or those little details to look for, definitely let me know in the comment section below. You can check out this video next on how to put together a media kit so you can pitch these brands on time. And again, every service that I've used, I'll leave down in the description box below for you so you can go check that out. Now get out there, make some content, and let's grow together.